Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands, and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we're going to be reviewing some tracks from an act named Herman Martinez. And if we switch over to the screen, we have it on Music Beat. We're going to be reviewing a few singles. We got One Hit Wonder, Sirens, and de facto Protagonist. Oh, hang on. Yeah, they're here. One Hit Wonder, Sirens, de facto Protagonist, and then we've got the art here. We're going to listen through these tracks from start till finish, starting with One Hit Wonder, and we're going to hear what we think. Let's go. Oh, that is instantly that off the bat. I mean, to be fair, part of it is obviously the mastering. Music Beat also puts everything to like 0 on the output automatically, you know? Oh. Nice little bit of vocal fry there. I'm really enjoying the tone of those vocals over top the piano and how wide they are in the mix, and I love the reverb tails we've got on those keys as well. Oh, that minor shift. Because this is the shortest track, I think, that we've got today out of the 3, which is fine. I don't mind longer tracks, don't get me wrong. You hear the echoes on their voice as well. I love how sort of mystical and ethereal this track is so far. I kind of thought I heard some strings for a moment. Are we bringing some strings in? What other instruments are we going to get? The guitar that we can see here? It's got an interesting tone of the vocals. It sounds worldly. It sounds very mature. I like how we're differentiating our main sort of story elements from just having the woo, kind of stuff going on. I like how we can transform our voice into just another lead melody like that without the context. I also love how we haven't had any other instruments really aside from the pianos and the vocals, and it's still been interesting. Always near, always far, can't see every star. One hit wonder. One hit wonder. Oh, some violin on the guitar, so that's nice for these heavily processed drums. And the bass is nice and round in the bottom there without too much resonance. It's kind of psychedelic, isn't it? Coloration of the overall musicality of it suits the vibe of the image we have here of Herman here. I don't know what this track is about. I don't know what this track is about. Maybe there is some additional context that I missed as I was going through it. I'm not trying to be rude or anything like that. And recently with these reviews, I've realized it's okay to say that I don't understand what's going on a track. There's nothing innately wrong with that. Sometimes you get it clearly. I'm being struck by the stars and somewhere's near, or always far. Is it talking about how we're looking for something, that way of striking out and making our way through the world or through the atmosphere, gliding above the skies, trying to find that one ray of hope, but maybe it's just always out of sight, trying to get that second hit, you know? I'm not sure. It's a great song though. So, you know, I really enjoy that vibe there. Again, it's been a while since I've listened to Herman Martinez, but I've kind of missed it. I love the polish and the humanity within that performance there. It's fantastic. We're Sirens though, track number 2.
Stop feeding the ghost.
So we're kind of getting a little bit dark with those harmonies, eh? Going for a harmonic or a melodic minor. The panning's interesting as well. Oh, that's very kind of jazzy and unusual, and there's a really severe panning on that ride. I'm not used to the ride being on that side, usually it's on the other, but it's okay either way. The guitar work there, the proficiency on both the percussion and the strings it's impressive. It's very welcome too, if I'm honest. Again, I just like the coordinate, the 8th note groove on the piano with the 16th notes on the drums, the presence and poignancy of the bass riffs. Just how heavily panned those vocals are, they almost work really well because of the position in the stereo field, how extreme it is. Oh, the guitar in the center? That's a cool choice. I wasn't expecting that. It's nice to have more of a gentle section. It's a nice contrast with those sort of guitars we had a moment ago. Playing nicely with these harmonies at this point. Oh, very pretty melodies here. Although we're talking about the... Okay, that was a lot to take in there. That was a lot to absorb. The shred though. Sorry. When did we learn to play guitar like that? Holy crap, that was incredible. Like literally, it's so weird how that's also so subtle though. It's so dissonant, discordant, and uncomfortable. And the increasing intensity in the drums as well. This is no solo section, this is more of a... We just got full instrumental, haven't we? I like the shimmer of the cymbals though. Are we gonna kind of fade out with this like we did with the previous track, One Hit Wonder, where there was a solo at the end? Oh, in 5/4. Dude, to make 5/4 this heavy, well done. Well done, Herman Martinez. Okay. But we're getting super trippy because of like unsettling at this point. I feel like we're going through several portals over and over and over again. What is this? The sequencing. The uncertainty. The chaos. Sirens, track number 2. What do I think about that one? I mean, like, the instrumental performances are phenomenal. There's so much talent and skill displayed there. Even in the parts where it sounded like there were a lot of, you know, if you're like a Puritan, you might be like, oh, there's a lot of harsh textures in that solo section with those really frenetic drum and guitar shreddy bits. But like, to me, it's like, if it illustrates an emotion, then it's worthy of being in a song, right? Because otherwise you've just got nothing. I love what Herman's going for here with that technicality there. Because it's not always there. He knows how to pull back and also go back in regards to the way he approaches arrangements and his compositions and stuff like that. You know, you got to show some love for that, because not everyone has that type of strength and not everyone has that type of creativity. What do I think Sirens is about? I don't know, dude. Like, Sirens, I mean, like, I remember like hearing him talking about how like the house is burning and the world's turning and stuff like that. I know that's a very small part of it. I just get the impression that it's either a siren for an emergency, maybe the drums and the guitar were the siren screeching into the void, or maybe it was the siren call, calling someone, luring them in to kind of watch the world burn and be a part of the madness. I'm not sure. It was fascinating though. We got one more track today, De Facto Protagonist. Like, it would have been enough with just the guitars. You got that shimmering, wishy-washy kind of synthy bit going on as well. Waiting for you to change the design. Ivory eyes. Interesting imagery here. I want to hear more, man. I'm loving that looping guitar riff and how sort of sweat for it. Spacey? Oh. I don't mind. I enjoy these vocal melodies quite a lot. I mean, they're very easy to follow. They're repeated well for effect, and they're delivered very caringly by Herman. Future nostalgia. Is this poetry? Or are you establishing a plot? Either way, it's fine. I suppose lyrics can be poetry, there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's very misty, isn't it? With all it's just the guitar parts and the vocals and the piano parts on the side. It's very kind of wishy-washy, wavy. Wishy, well, not in a bad sense. It's more like everything's kind of like in an ocean of some kind, or like everything's sort of interconnected, I suppose. Very different approach to the lead than we had last time. It's a lot slower, you know, than we had in Sirens. It's very charming though, isn't it? Again, Herman has this fantastic approach to it where the first part is story-based and the second is sort of turning, I think, that tale into a musical form. An artistic, oral expression of it. What I like about the mixing and mastering in this part is, and I'm paying attention to everything as we go along, but just I love how, especially with post-processing and EQing, there are parts which are a little bit more kind of mid-oriented and they're a little bit kind of smoother and they're more sort of like the tone of these guitars. They're not sharp tones, sort of dusty sounding, whereas the pianos are quite crisp and they contrast well with each other, even if they're on a similar frequency spectrum. And the vocals have just got the right amount of reverb on them to really stand out, but also so well in the rest of the mix, you know? I'm nodding my head to it, there's a set groove, chord note accent on it. Nice expression here, nice continuation of that. Again, these reverse takes. We're not violining, but we've got kind of inversed, kind of oscillating synths with like frenetic rustling on either side. Did he just reverse the takes of all the drift drum hits? It's very surreal. I don't know if I like it, to be honest, but I think it's an interesting, unique way to finish a song. I'm just going to listen through that last kind of chorus part, just to kind of just vibe and sit with it, and then we'll do the conclusion. Because this is the conclusion of my review of these tracks by Herman Martinez. I'm not sure which it is. It's difficult without a graphic accent on it. But that's okay. That's just simply Music B being weird with the way it formats stuff. I enjoyed my time with this track, with these 3 songs today. I think that Herman is a fantastic singer-songwriter and has done a splendid job of recording and presenting his artistic visions to us within these 3 tracks, One Hit Wonder, Sirens, and De Facto Protagonist. I would like to say that I understand each of these songs innately from a story perspective. I think I've missed parts. Sometimes, I think part of it is obviously down to me simply getting lost in all the different elements at once and kind of getting overwhelmed. And again, that's not Herman's fault. That's me getting sucked into it. And my brain will find the bits I like the most and focus on that. And with Herman, a lot of the value for me, at least with the story, was listening to the tone of his voice. His vocal technique is fantastic, you know. The intended delivery, the personality behind it, the way he's calling out. There's never a hint of an expression of aggression from it. It's never angry or off-putting, or it's always like, you could have a beer with this guy, should I say. You know that they've got some stuff that they're sorting out, you know. I mean, De Facto Protagonist, I think, is about someone who is deciding whether they need to be the person of their own life or whether they're going to be someone else. You know, it's figuring out your own fate. I spoke about Sirens and One Hit Wonder before, but effectively there are different topics that are discussed within this set that I think are both personal to Herman and will also resonate with a lot of other people. And in that respect, I think that these tracks are well written and they are well chosen to be singles. They're not your usual fare. They're getting a lot of stuff where it's like about relationships or it's about, you know, topical current events or anything like that. I kind of like that there's a bit of nuance and mystery there, but at the same time, it's not, you can approach it You know, it's not going to slap you in the face for getting close. The structure of each of the tracks, you know, predominantly we had a verse chorus kind of thing in the first half of these songs. And then what Herman would do is he goes and put these solo sections and instrumental focus parts in the second part, you know, second half of like One Hit Wonder and Sirens. De facto had a chorus kind of thing go on later on, and there was solo sections split by the chorus, which I appreciate. I think that's a really smart idea from Herman. I'm really proud of him for like switching it up, because like it could become too predictable if you just know there's going to be an instrumental at the end. At the same time, I think that Herman is a great enough musician and a great enough songwriter and performer that he can pull off having repetition there, because even if you know what's coming, he makes it interesting every time. The guitar work, the drums, the bass, piano parts, you know, it's a typical kind of rock arrangement from the second half of the 20th century, you know, like a lot of prog rock, alt rock kind of elements there. Even some metal elements there occasionally, but you know, some interesting sort of scale choices and chord progressions, jazzy oriented stuff. I think in Sirens, there's lots to enjoy and appreciate, but most importantly, it was stylistically connected. Each of the songs had their own sort of vibe and identity, but you could still tell that it was Herman that wrote them. I think his voice was a major determinant of that, but also the production quality was consistent among the three tracks, and the production quality was fantastic. Just a shout out to those solo sections, especially on the guitar and drums, which were phenomenal. The piano was beautiful as well, nice and colorful and very pretty sounding. And the bass had that kind of, I don't know how to describe the bass, to be honest. Like, I loved it to pieces, but there's a word I'm kind of coming across. It's like, it reminds me of like old school 60s and 70s bass, where it's nice and round and it's not sterilized or over treated or anything like that. It's very pleasant and palatable, but it's also got a bit of kick to it, you know. The production and recording, mixing, mastering was sensational. Got all the time in the world for it. Again, Herman Martinez and whoever else was involved know what they're doing clearly, and I have no doubts that they're going to continue to find success in future. 3 tracks that are worthy of your attention. I firmly believe that this is the key to success for Herman. They're on a good thing, and I wish them the best of luck in future. Yeah, just before we go over to the screen, usually I talk about specifically stuff. I mean, the EQing instruments, there was a nice contrast between them. Stereo panning and instruments was fantastic. I think I talked about the vocals on the side with all the guitar parts and Sirens. And limiting compression is nice amount of dynamic range to this without it pumping. But effectively, this was my review of Herman Martinez's various tracks. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go show Herman Martinez some love via his various social medias. I think he's got a Bandcamp page as well. And stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time. It's either hell more than there with all the crazy stuff going on in the world, and I will catch you in the next review. Spiderhands Out.